friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Yesterday, Hurricane Ian made its way to us up from the coast of South Carolina and Florida. So we are just going to kind of walk you through and show you what has happened here at the nursery, talk about what we did to prepare for the hurricane, and just kind of give you an update because I know a lot of you were sending lots of wonderful prayers up and just being very encouraging and kind in your comments. So we just wanted to kind of give you an update on what is going on here at the nursery. Before we get too far into this, I will say, of course, that our prayers are for all the folks who have been really severely damaged by Hurricane Ian and all the effects. I know that we have all seen the footage from, Florida and the Fort Myers, Naples area. Jerry and I were just down at Marco Island in January for a little bit of a vacation. So we kind of have a little bit of a firsthand knowledge of what that area was like and now what it is like. And so our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those sweet people in that area. We have friends that live down there. Everybody is safe, and also then, of course, it went back out into the ocean and then made its way back and came in along the coast of South Carolina. And it looks like our beloved area, Huntington Beach, Huntington State Park, Pawleys Island, that is where our family vacations. If you will remember, we did a video about that area. It looks like that is where the brunt of the hurricane hit. And I haven't seen a lot of pictures, but I can only imagine that it has not fared very well. So all of our thoughts and prayers are for all of our friends in the Carolinas and Georgia. So what I'm going to show you is we sustained very little damage, very little. But we have been through hurricanes before. Jerry and I are both products of living through Hurricane Hugo that came through, I believe, in '89. We vividly remember that, and we were without power for like 2 weeks here. We had massive damage. It was one of those weird hurricanes that made its way all the way inland. We are a couple hundred miles from the coast of North Carolina and South Carolina. We are not close to the coast whatsoever. So for a hurricane to have that kind of damage here is rare. That is why we take hurricanes very seriously around here. So what we received was about a little bit over 4 inches of rain and then some wind. Nothing, again, major, but we just want to kind of give you a heads up and show you what's going on because a lot of people have asked. So here I am standing in the trial beds, and I was just going to kind of show you. This is some of the, quote, damage that we received. And I do use those terms very lightly because I know that some of you have just had catastrophic damage. So I do use these terms very lightly. Here is the coffee cups elephant ear. So you can just see exactly that this is just wind damage where it just came in from this direction and pushed that elephant ear that way. I may get in there and try to straighten it up a little bit, but also once the sun comes out, I think it will really kind of come up on its own. Is this going to kill the plant? Absolutely not. Pretty soon we're going to have our first frost freeze, and so it will kill all of this back. This is a perennial for us, so all I'm concerned about is the root system. It will be just fine. But you can see that we have our huge trees here along the creek bank. Right in here, we had, just a couple of limbs to come down. Obviously, there's leaves everywhere, but there is no huge damage. If this were Hurricane Hugo, we would have had trees down everywhere. So what we just have sustained is just a little bit of wind damage. This is Saturday morning, so the nursery is open. Our folks are kind of putting everything back because we did prepare for the worst. You can see the begonias right here. These are the new Surefire Whites. Very tall, and they just got laid down. So these will probably be coming out here in the next week or so. You can see we just have some standing water right here that should absorb pretty quickly. All of the stock here at the nursery has done really well. Whatever did get blown over, our folks have already tried to pick up and clean up a little bit. And so we're just going to walk over here to the greenhouse because we did move all of the mums out of the production field and brought them down to the greenhouse because if you've seen our pictures of our mums, you know that they are huge. And the thing is about a hurricane, you do have lots of warning that it is coming. but you don't know exactly what it's going to do. So we, got out really, really easy, but we could have had much more massive winds. At one point, they were calling for like 60+ mile-an-hour winds, and that would do a number on some things. So we went ahead and brought all the mums here into the greenhouse. You can see that Meredith and Emily, look at that, they're twinsies today. And hey, Mare, turn around, let me show you. This is the appropriate shirt for the day. Yes, the professional plant movers, that's right, thank you, Mare. So we brought in all of the mums from the production field and just crammed them in here. So now the girls get the fun task of bringing them out because they cannot stay underneath the tables. That's just not good for them. We have the ones that are in full color. We have some that are in full color. So if you have an event, come get some. Then we have those that are just beginning to crack the color. And then finally, we have the late bloomers that are still nice and tight. So remember, we've talked about this before, that mums, we have early, mid, and late bloomers. So this obviously is a late bloomer because look how small the little buds are. If you have, let's say you are the hostess with the mostest for Thanksgiving and you want to have fall color, this is the mums that you want to buy. You want to get the mums that are still really nice and tight. Let's say you want to decorate for Halloween, which is going to be at the end of the month. Today is October 1st. So maybe you want to buy this mum that is just cracking color. You know it's a beautiful burgundy, but you're going to get the most bang for your buck with those mums. So the girls are in here taking all of these that are from under the table and then moving them outside. Emily's very excited about this. Bless her heart. She's only done this once or twice because my kids are like, why do hurricanes have to come when we have mum season? I'm like, it's just that thing. So my kids are very versed in moving mums. We of course had to close up all the greenhouses. You can see here that we still have the doors closed. Then we used our nice big bags of Land and Sea to make sure that the doors did not blow open. During the remnants of the hurricane that came through, all the sides were closed. We don't want to have that massive wind. So that's what's so great about these sides that roll up and down is, of course, they come up and down, and then these vertical bars right here are the guards. So that way that curtain can't blow out this way. So nice and secure. You can see that the mums right there were doing just fine. We did have some winds that were sustained in that, like, I think 25 mile-an-hour kind of, area as far as winds. And then we're going to make our way over here to the pines because I have actually not even checked out the pines. And let's see what is going on over there. We've got Logan and Josh over here who are doing a little bit of maintenance. I think if anything, we probably, because it being underneath the pines, we may have, like Logan's, picking up ferns that had blown over. We're gonna have sticks. You can see we've got plenty of pine needles that have fallen so we can come in and rake and blow. But being underneath the pine trees, there's gonna be little limbs here and there. Again, nothing massive. We have some plants that blew over, but we have no trees that are down. So all of that is wonderful, great news. All of the unique stone has just hanging out there. We talked about really the only thing we could have done to protect the unique stone was to move it out into the big open field. And honestly, we just decided to go ahead and gamble on that one because we didn't want to have to move all this heavy stone. Everybody's done great. Again, just lots of little limbs down. So we will come through today and get all of this picked up and cleaned up a little bit. Now, what we're going to do is I want to take you over to the house and show you how I prepared for the house, and yeah, a couple more little things. So we're just going to mosey on over there. I'm going to give you an update on that area. as I'm making my way back to the house, of course, you have to cross over the culvert to get to the house. And so this is the creek. The creek did not even overflow. That is just a testament and a sign of how slow that rain came down. We did not have these massive kind of flash flood situations, which happens a lot during hurricanes. So this area did really well. It did not even overflow. So that is fantastic news. When I was coming over here to the nursery this morning, I did notice that we had, quote, damage. Again, I use that term very, very loosely. I'll take this kind of damage all day, every day. So we had, of course, you know, here at the crossing, we have this bed that's filled with the coleus and the impatiens. So because of the wind coming through, you can see that some of the coleus has been damaged. This one was actually uprooted. So this will be coming out probably very soon. The impatiens probably can stay, but several of those, you know, pockets of coleus have been either laid down or just because they're so massive. And you can see, well, you know, there, the impatiens, there's a split there. And that's the thing about these winds, is they're swirling and they're coming from all different kinds of directions. So you just really, there's nothing you can do here to prepare this. It is what it is, and we're gonna take it. So again, this whole area has been split. So the lime thyme, you see some limbs right here because we are underneath these massive poplar trees. And so to only have just some small limbs come down is a really great thing. This coleus, of course, got split as well. So this will all be coming out probably relatively pretty soon. And then because we have that creek and we normally keep all the equipment over there, Jerry brought all of the equipment and attachments to this side of the creek, because if the creek had flooded like it has in the past, there's no way that we can get over to there, because the creek runs the entire length of our property and cuts that property in half. All the equipment was put over here in the high ground. If we had flooding, if we had damage, we would be able to get to our equipment. So that's what he's going to do, is start taking all the attachments back over to where they belong in the storage area at the nursery. So we're going to walk over to the house and I'm going to show you what I did to prepare the house for the possible high winds and the rain. So here at the house, our front of our house is very exposed. We basically kind of face northwest, and with the hurricane, you never quite know where how the winds are going to go, because it's in that circular pattern and you get those bands. So what I did here for the house was really to think about the wind. I can't control the rain. I'm not going to be able to, you know, move plants and do that kind of stuff. They're tough, they can handle it. So my main concern was the wind, because you just never know what those wind gusts are going to be like. So here at the house, what I did was I removed, and I don't know if you can see, Brenna's in the house with Megan, and she's not happy that she can't be out here with me. So all of the hanging baskets across the front of the house have been taken down. You will see that I did go ahead and lay down the rocking chairs, because we have had winds where they flip them over. These two were upright because we did have coffee on the porch this morning. So we turned them up at 5:30 this morning, but they were laying down, so they're nice and safe. And then I normally, or pre-Ian, I had all my mums out and down here through here. So what I did is I just moved them and put them in a group right here up against the wall, made sure that they were well watered so they are nice and heavy. That way they did not blow, and they have done great. And then if you've watched our videos before, you know that I have wind chimes that hang from right here. So I took them down and they are on the bench right there, along with my fall wreath I took is inside, and our little sign right there was also just taken down. So now that those winds have gone, we are cloudy today, but once these clouds go out, then we're good to go. They're not even calling for any more rain today. The water, we have talked about this before, so the viola bed did really, really well. The boys did not get a chance to come in here and bury the line. So this is a very temporary fix. This was just for the storm, because we talked about with the downspout, it just empties right there, and when we have big rain, it will wash and create ruts through here. So we're going to come in and bury a black corrugated pipe and then have a little pop-up that'll come out in the yard. So what I did yesterday was, or the day before rather, just put this temporary pipe there, put the stone on it so it would hold it, and you can see that it did wash a little bit right there. No big deal whatsoever. So I'm very happy with how that bed held. You will notice that none of that compost washed. I have no wash right there. So super, super excited with how well that did. And then moving around, whew, the ground is squishy. Moving around here to the back, we did really, really well again. No major damage whatsoever. My Nicotina plants that you can see right here, they got blown. That's all right. If they don't perk back up, I'll just trim them back. They will do fine. We had some wind damage up here with that coleus. Again, I am not worried about that whatsoever. That will just come out really soon. And then you can see back here in the back that everybody did really well. I have a decorative piece of pottery right here. I did take the top off because it is, if anything was going to break, it could be that one. But even Emily's little rose tree, remember this is the Julia Child rose in a tree form, and she is doing great. She was covered in open flowers. So I did have Emily come out here and cut all those flowers in case something happened to it. But look at all the buds and the new growth on this rose tree. Just stunning. If you remember, I mean, it was a pitiful, just little twigs, but did really well. It may have gotten blown just a little bit, but we'll come back in here and shore her up so that she will do well. But you can see back here that everybody did great. The vertigos are a little blown over. They'll perk back up really soon. Just everything did really nicely. The big trees held. We don't even have any little limbs down back here. So everybody did great. And then I did come back here on the back porch, the patio area, and laid down more of the rocking chairs. All of my wind chimes got laid down on the porch. But again, overall, everything did really, really well here. And we were incredibly blessed and spared for this time. My kids are becoming really good at preparing for a hurricane, and then nothing truly really happens, which is the way I will take it every single time. Again, I know that we were incredibly blessed and spared, so for that we are incredibly thankful. Again, all of our thoughts and prayers are for those who have been affected by this hurricane. It is just no joke. I tell you, the wind, the water, and fire have absolutely no control over that stuff. And it can be, when you see the devastation, it can just be so mind-blowing and frightful. So that is why we are incredibly grateful that we're not the ones in charge, and we just we know who holds us, and we trust in His sovereignty and His grace. So as always, we so appreciate all your love and support. Thank you for all the messages, all the comments, all the prayers, all the well wishes. We so incredibly appreciate that. And yeah, I will have some links for some areas, some different organizations. If you wish to contribute to help those that have been affected by the storm, you can click on those, and these are great places that your money will go directly to help those that have been affected. So I encourage you, if you feel led to donate, check these places out, and I'm sure that those that have been affected will greatly appreciate it. As always, we appreciate you. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.